Grownish, smartish, British.
We are British, apparently. Uh-huh.
Because the cameras are rolling, yeah? No, don't clap,
We
please.
don't ever do the clap.
We don't ever do the clap. He's just trying to impress Alex. I'm
Your
professional.
mouth was wide.
Do you know what? I'm not gonna
When you
lie.
put that
when I
camera on, your
walked
mouth
into the
was
room,
wide.
I don't know why I thought you were Ben from
Yeah,
behind.
of course, yeah.
I
All
think
black
it was the
people
height.
look
No,
at
it was the height. Oh wow, Ben.
Jesus. Kenny,
You're both wearing
behave
caps
yourself.
and you're both wearing
I wasn't
black
wearing a
t-shirts
cap when I came
today.
in, but yeah,
When I came in, you were.
maybe.
Say something now.
How are you,
Anyways,
Alex?
guys.
You good, yeah?
Yeah.
Bless. This is a good vibes. Good way to kick things off.
Yes, you are listening to Growing Up British with myself, Hebs. You can catch me on I Am Hebs with a Z.
Your uncle's favourite uncle, Uncle Ben.
Where can they find you?
Running around. No, I'm joking. Ben of LDN.
Hi, I'm Fizz. I'm back now.
Yay!
Yay! You can find me on Keep It Fizz.
And we have a special guest in the building. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Alex, you can find me on Walkworks, walk.works on Instagram.
Do you want to show them your jumper? Because it's just there. It's just there.
What is
He's
what works?
ready.
It's something that I created during lockdown and stuff. It was just basically to boost like mental health within people, but at the same time, because of my diagnosis and that,
Right.
it's like I was trying to reach out to other people that will have a similar kind of like understanding as me. But at the same time, because I've got quite a bit of experience in like personal training and stuff,
Yeah.
I was trying to incorporate the two together.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice.
But you see, like in lockdown and that, how everyone was just trying to stay at home. Everyone was like bored and that. Everyone depressed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just like trying to encourage people to step out, like just be active, like go for a walk or something. Like you're not doing much, you're just gonna do that, come back home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's good for your mental, man.
It definitely is.
I always say like gym to me is first and foremost therapy. Like no matter how much fitness is good, yeah, cool, but it's also like your mental getaway.
100.
Yeah.
It's alright, mash up
It's
the
where
microphone.
you're prioritizing yourself, innit? Fully killed off my point, Ben.
Keep
It's
going.
alright. He's got big hands. You can't help it. All right. So what we always start the show with is would you rather's. So would you rather whatever. So do we go for something stupid or deep?
Of course, always that. We'll start off with something stupid and then end with something deep.
All right. Would you rather have feet for hands or hands for feet?
Oh my god.
You went stupid. I gave you
Feet
stupid.
for hands or hands for feet? Hands for feet.
Do you not feel some people have like finger toes?
Yeah,
anyway?
tingers.
Yeah.
What are they called? Sorry.
Tingers.
Are those real? Is that a real thing? Swear down. Right, carry on. You can't answer one. I'll give you this.
Ew. Oh, so
What
gross.
would you have?
No, hands for feet.
Yeah,
You
same.
can
Hands
hide
for
it,
feet.
innit?
Yeah. But also you'd be able to do more. Can you imagine the amount of rock climbing and Spider-Man?
There are monkeys.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like my man from Marvel, though, isn't it?
Yeah, very true.
Hebs has just discovered what a tinger is.
I think you look.
I can't.
Oh,
Ew.
wow.
They're
you
very
see?
long.
I don't want to.
That's
Is that
interesting.
a second picture? Two pairs
Wait,
of
wait.
mum
Can you see?
Hold on, we got Mike.
Mic down, mic down.
Can you zoom in? Sorry.
Oh dear.
This is someone's
Fair enough.
foot.
Ew.
You shouldn't make fun of people's deformities.
I'm so sorry.
It's
That's
not
so
a
true.
deformity, I don't think, but it's just a very
It's
long,
a talent.
It's
toe
very,
digit.
very
very
finished.
long toe digits.
Oh, okay.
But somewhere in the world, that is sexy.
Jeez.
The same way somewhere in the world, cankles are a thing.
Oh, mate.
Do you know what? There's
What-
bare
what
chaotic
cankle?
energy in the
When
room
your
today.
calf blends in with your ankle.
Why are you hating? I suffer with cankles. Say
It's not
something.
it's not a big deal.
It's fine.
Some
it's fine.
people find it extra
But do you know,
sexy.
some countries, they men find it very attractive when a woman has cankles. It's like a sign of like wealth or some weird. It's just culture, isn't it?
Expensive meals, isn't it? You don't do nothing.
Should be eating food.
It just so happens that the fat travels in one way. It could be water. It could be anything. But we move. So everyone agrees to have fingers.
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 Finger toes.
Hands
as
for feet.
Hands as feet.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Fingers. Oh god, that means we're gonna have tingers. Ew.
Yeah, it's cool. We see.
I'd
how it
still
looks
rather
like.
have hands for feet.
Do you remember those? Do you know those shoes that you can wear where it looks like
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
with the
glove.
toe thing.
Toe
Yeah,
gloves.
That's it. They're already one step ahead. They're ready for this.
Now, they're good in the gym though. People wear them in the gym a
They're
lot.
Have you tried
perfect.
it?
No,
You should
Flat
introduce
flat
your own brand.
shoes. Flat shoes.
I don't know about that one.
What are they called?
No, when you have, there are different type of shoes. Flat shoes that have no heel, minimal amount of
So like socks.
like socks.
Foot glove.
No. They're just called flat shoes.
Moving on swiftly. Should I ask Alex my my politically incorrect one?
Yeah.
All right.
We
I'm
haven't
so
done that
sorry
in a
to ask
while.
you this. Would you rather have your children be looked after by R. Kelly or Michael Jackson?
Whoa,
Exactly. That's what we all said.
whoa,
I just got to throw it out there every now and then.
Boy.
You know, just to jazz it up a
We
bit.
should have said that.
Boy.
Hold on, I would've-
that's a bit techie, you know.
That is, that's
Like,
a-
Yeah.
You have to
It's
choose.
a bit-
You have to
it's a
gun
bit
to your
tricky.
head.
Which one's the lesser of two evils?
I don't know. I'll probably say Michael. You know.
Do you have children?
Yeah, I got a daughter.
Okay. So you
But
have a
I'll-
daughter. Based on you having a woman, young child, young queen,
Yeah,
would you rather Michael? You said Michael look after
yeah,
her.
Michael. 100%.
But Michael, God forbid, might be spooning her. You good with that?
Cheese and onion. What is
He
wrong
is.
with
I'm
you?
putting things in
The option
perspective.
is your child being pissed on or your child being spooned.
Do you know what? For a daughter, I think Michael Jackson's a safer option still.
Do you know?
Because R. Kelly is more likely to piss
Yeah.
on her.
Next thing you know, age ain't nothing but a number. I'm
There
not
we
with-
go.
But-
Next thing, small
What?
contract,
I
but you're
know.
probably
That song.
Ooh, listen, you're right, for real. All right, so guys, we are here today because Alex made this happen.
Yay!
So he actually reached out directly to me. He messaged me and said, "Hebs, have you spoken about hidden disabilities before?" And I'm just like, "No, we haven't." I'm like, "Interesting." And then you obviously disclosed yours.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell people about your journey? I guess if you want to sort of, you can say it briefly in depth.
Yeah, no, but at the end of the day, yeah, but it happened in 2016. So, like a lot of different things started to happen to me, you know. Like I used to play American football, but then a few things I had to push out the window, priority change and that. And literally, I used to play football a lot, but I kept on like falling over. I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" My friend would be like, "Oh, why you keep falling over? Like, what
But
you
just
doing?"
generally as you're
Yeah, like I'm
living
running,
your-
no, but I'm running though, and then I'll just
Okay.
fall over, like I'll lose strength. I'm like, oh, and literally fall over, and then
Wow.
like when I get too hot, my eyesight started to get a bit blurry, and that. So I was like, oh, what's going on here? So it was like Halloween, like the week before or something, and you know, like sometimes you get a bit stupid, you get like contact lenses. So I was like, oh, it must have been the contact lenses dirty or something, and then like after I was cussing the optician, I was like, bro, look what you did to my eyes. I was like, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll give you an MRI scan. I was like, no, you know what? If you don't sort this out, legal actions. And then like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's what we
like-
do with Vex.
straight away. And then I've had an MRI scan and I started touring like England and I was away touring around.
as
and
part
then-
of the football group.
No, different other.
Different.
Oh, wait, I want to know.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. You
I
can't
was-
just say that I'm passed by like it's nothing.
No, obviously I was touring England and that, and then basically on my
He's still not
journeys,
saying why.
uh,
Music?
obviously on my journeys,
Swerving like a mother trucker.
Proper
I
politician.
got some
here.
correspondence and that saying, well, like you need to check up on at the hospital. So I did so. I had a couple MRI scans. They were like, right, there's something a bit dodgy going on with your readings. I was like, oh, what's going on? So then at first, because of my eye, they was like, oh, you got cataract. And I was like, cataract?
Did they scan your eyes? to
Yeah.
check?
So they dilated my eyes.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see nothing. They was like, oh, don't use your phone, don't drive, don't do nothing. Obviously, your eyesight. So my pupils were like big like this.
Yeah.
And it hurts because you're letting in too much light.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my God. No, but they dilated it, innit?
Oh, okay.
So they had to do it so they could look into my lens
Right.
and then see if there's anything wrong. So they was like, oh, you got clouding on your lens. So I was like, oh, I don't know how to act to this now. Like, what's going on? Like, I'm going to be 23 with a cataract. That's dumb. So I was like, oh, we don't want to operate anyway because we have to take off your lens and replace it with an artificial
Correct,
lens.
yeah.
Wow.
And they was like, you're too young for that. So I was like, all right, cool, no problem. So then we kept on going.
Carry on. No, sorry.
We kept on going.
Kenny. Camera. Jeez.
I'm telling you, there's really chaotic energy here today.
Kenny's like, where? What?
even went and looked outside.
Everyone did. Carry on.
Yeah, so they were just like, "Yo, we're not gonna give you
Yeah.
that. We're not gonna give you the operation anyway." So I was like, "Okay, cool. So what happens now?" Kind of thing. They were like, "We're gonna do a couple more tests." They gave me another MRI scan, and then they was like, "All right, we're just gonna finish off with one last test." And I was like, "What's this?" They were proper apprehensive to do it, and then I was like, "Go on." It was like a lumbar puncture.
Oh.
So I was like,
I don't know what
So for
that.
lumbar
those who don't know,
puncture.
yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to tell people what it is?
Lumbar puncture, yeah, they will play it down and be like, "Oh yeah, it's all right," but literally they got you on your side, curled up in a ball, and then they get like a needle and they put it in the base of your spine, and then they extract the spinal fluids.
That hurts. It must hurt.
Of course.
It's you know what it is? It's very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable.
But afterwards as well, did you feel like pain?
Like you feel a bit like lightheaded and a bit wheezy kind of thing. Like it's a
'Cause
bit
it triggers
all over the place.
potential, like, it might touch nerves and stuff along the way.
No, it's like a trained nurse has to do it, innit?
Yeah.
So like they have to curl you up in a ball and they'll be like, "All right, if you feel any sort of like withering or anything, let me know. I'll slow down or I'll stop or whatever."
Slow down. Get the hell out, bro.
Nah,
What
I
you
just
mean?
wanted her to hurry up. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie to you. I wanted
Yeah.
her to hurry up.
How long does that procedure actually last?
As long as you keep on screaming, innit? Like if you keep on going, "Oh no," like
But as in, like, is it just like a few seconds, or is it like a? They
nah,
have
they
to,
take
like,
out a lot of fluid though. They do
Oh,
take out a
really?
lot of fluid, and then afterwards, you'll feel a bit lightheaded, and like when you're walking, your balance will be a bit like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like after that, they just came back and I was like, "All right, cool." Like a few months later, I was like, "Oh, you know, you got multiple sclerosis," and I was like,
Wow. At 23.
"Yeah." So I was like, "What's this?" So now I'm even more baffled. I'm like, "Oh my!"
So did you know anything about MS prior?
No, I probably watched a film or two about it, but I didn't take it in at the time.
Yeah, it didn't carry any weight.
Yeah,
or
Yeah.
relevance to
It's
you.
like-
not something we would ever think in
Never,
that age that we
never.
would be affected by until
Never.
maybe something like years
There's
in
some
the future.
stupid odds on it as well. It's like I think
Yeah.
it's like 1 in 50 or something stupid, or 1 in 100. I was like, how could I be the 1 in 100?
Yeah.
How? But yeah, literally. So
So in the months that you were waiting, was there any like further symptoms, or was it just?
yeah, no. At one stage, yeah, basically why my situation got escalated, yeah, is because when you go to an optician and they make you do the eye test on the wall, so they was like, "Oh, okay, tell me what letters are there covering one eye." So I was like, "I did it, cool." Then she's like, "I'll switch eyes." I promise you, the words disappeared when I covered the eye. I was like, "What?" She was like, "No, you have to go to hospital now," and that was it. That was it.
That's so interesting. So not to digress, my son, he's 7, and we had the same test done, and he couldn't see out the other eye completely, and we found that he had a cataract from birth. So they said there's no point trying to do the surgery because he actually never saw from that eye, but his eyes have been compensating for the other eye's been compensating for the other eye for so long that he's gotten away with just acting like he can see from both eyes, like he's none the wiser. And they said if we do the lens replacement and to remove the cataracts, it's he's way too young to go through it because he can go through other traumas like let's say playing football and someone like kicks the ball in his eye, it's more likely for his
to damage the eye
and
more,
eye detach, because right now it's perfect. So yeah, that's everything you're saying resonates with me because my son's literally just gone through it right now.
Okay.
And I haven't really spoken about it, but it's one of those things where I'm just like, you'd never guess because he's been absolutely cool, but you can feel the difference because you used to see.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like you used to see very well from one eye, obviously. Whereas for him, he's just always just rubbed his eye, going, it's a little bit blurry, but not realizing how blurry it was. So it's just it's mad that you're saying, but you're just a bit ahead of time in that sense.
Yeah.
But carry on, sorry.
Yeah, so like they were just talking about my eye and that. I was just like, oh great. This is one thing after another. And then literally I've gone down to like Wales for a bit. But
Is this part of it too?
yeah, this is part of the tour, like touring the United Kingdom, you know.
Are you on a run?
No, we weren't on the run.
Because their
we
fence is behind you right there.
No, we weren't on the run real good, but you know what it was? It was like basically I was in Norwich for a while, and then I was on medication, and then the medication failed. But in the midst of that, I had to move, and I was down in Wales, so I was out without medication for like 9 months.
Wow.
And then when that happened, now all of a sudden, like things started digressing even more, like, and it's like getting a bit worse. And then one day I was just with my friend, and then I fell asleep. I woke up, and then like like if you need to go to the toilet, so it's like, oh, let me get up, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? Like, I was like, what's going on here? And I was like, oh, like, I couldn't feel my legs. I was like, oh shit. I was like, shit. Oh.
How did you feel in that moment?
Like, my life started crashing before me. I was like, oh my days, what now? And then, like, literally, if you were to lie flat and you were to sit up, you'll feel a slight twinge in your hip and your lower stomach kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've done that now. I couldn't feel nothing. I'm like, oh my God. I've woken up with my friend. I was like, hey, like, I can't feel my legs. He was like, you're lying. I was like,
Just
no.
move, man. Just move. Get up.
Yeah, literally. He was like,
yeah.
stop being stupid, man. Get up. I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
So I kind of propped myself up in the bed now. And then like he was just like, get up then. Get up then. I was like, bro, do you think you're Jesus or something about get up? What are you talking about?
I have blessed you.
Yeah. And so like literally, I've got up now and I've taken one step and just dropped. I've just dropped over. He was like, oh my God. He looked at me. I've looked at him on the floor like,
you're gonna help me? Like something.
he was just like, what do I do kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then from there now, I was in a wheelchair for like 5 months.
Wow.
5 months, and then I was just like, oh, you know what?
So during that time, so just not to cut you off, but during that 5 months, were you able to get up at all, or was it?
Yeah, I could get up, and I'd have to do like some shuffle kind of, like maneuver kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But it was nowhere near like a solid walk or anything. And even if I had to like use the wall to support myself to like walk or like hold on to something, or my friend would like hitch under my arm or something, and he would help me along the room. But other than that, I was done. I was finished. Like done.
So what did they say to you? So obviously you're in a wheelchair for 5 months.
Yeah.
Was it like potentially going to be something that you're going to be in permanently, or was it a case where? Because I know with MS, similar to lupus, it kind of fluctuates.
Yeah.
So they're very similar, but I think lupus kind of potentially you can not your life expectancy kind of goes down a bit, but I know with MS you pretty much have a similar expectancy of life as a normal person. But I know it's very erratic, and you can have really good days and have really bad days.
Yeah.
So when how did that transition where you kind of did you just one day wake up, excuse my ignorance, but you just one day wake up and be like, I'm good?
No, during that period of time, it was like, because I would go to the gym anyway, and everyone used to see me going to the gym, they'll be like, Father, you stupid, get up, we're going gym. I'll be like, go on, get my wheelchair then. And then I would get in there, and then they'll push me and bring me to the gym with them, and where we'll be doing what we're doing. And then after a while, obviously I was doing remedials and that, and then I was just like, you know what, this isn't life, this isn't the end, because at the end of the day, if you want better for yourself and within reason, go and get it. Don't sit down feeling sorry for yourself, because nobody is going to look after
but
you.
But how easy was it for you to get to that state of mind? Because obviously, especially and correct me if I'm wrong, but as a man, it's quite you're by nature you're quite prideful, and to feel quite vulnerable, and knowing that everyone's watching you in a wheelchair, and for you to change your mindset and go, do you know what? No, I need to just pull my weight literally and just get on with it.
Boy, for me, I'm I'm kind of a headstrong person, innit? So it's a thing where I don't like to rely on people anyway. So even being in a wheelchair, it used to annoy me that someone would be like, oh, let me push you up. Like, no, get off me.
Let me just struggle.
Wheel away, you know what I mean? Then, but at the end of the day, it was just anyone that did help me, I appreciate them, and obviously I always thank them all the time. And I'll reach out to them sometimes, yo, do you remember those days when you used to help me and you used to come pick me up and do? And then I'll be like, well, I always appreciate it from you. But at the same time, it was for me to kind of get out there for myself and bring myself back together, because boy, I ain't living like that.
Is that a mindset that you had from the minute you were diagnosed?
No, it's
or, it grew over time.
Yeah, this grew over time, innit? And I was just like, no, I'm not giving up. It doesn't make sense to give up.
How did your family react to you having it?
Boy, obviously they didn't really like it, obviously, but when I used to see them, and I didn't want to allow them to see me in that position kind of thing. So, for example, if I met them, I would quickly like try and go over to them, hug them quickly, and then sit down like,
Yeah.
you know what I
So they
mean?
can't
So,
clock.
like, I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
all right now. You know what I mean? And then like when they're like, oh yeah, we're going now, I'll be like, yeah. I'll see you later. And then wait for them to go and like shuffle back slowly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Did you
it's-
tell them straight away? And,
no,
like,
I told them, innit? Obviously, at the end of the day, I felt like there's no reason for me to hide it from them, because eventually people talk, and it's better you hear it from me than you hear it from someone else.
Because the reason why I ask, I know like a lot of people. You made me do a lot of research, like just watching people's videos and their stories,
Yeah.
and it seemed like a lot of people kind of were in denial when they first got told the diagnosis. They're like, nah, but I'm just a regular person. So they couldn't tell themselves the truth, let alone tell other people. So for a long time they're moving like they're okay, until it reached a point where like they have no choice but to tell people.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked you that question.
How did your friends take it? Because obviously they're all your age as well. Or
Was
mostly
there
around
any
your age.
awkward guys that were like, yes, I don't know what to do, bro?
No, you know what it is? A lot of my friends were quite supportive, innit? So they would always reach out and be like, oh, what? Hey, you're right. Do you need shopping? Do you need this? Do you need that?
That's
kind
it.
of thing. But it was like, a lot of them were upset. A lot of my family and friends, they were upset. Oh, like, how did this happen to you? Like, what? And obviously, it upset me that people were upset for me. I'm just like, I'm good. Don't worry. I'm fine.
It's because they know who you are, and
Yeah.
they can see you're not a person to be vulnerable. That's
You know,
why
exactly
as well.
that. So
and
it was just kind of like,
the lack of knowledge around.
yeah, contrast and like, oh, bro, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, what should I get that for?
Mm.
I can open my drink myself.
Yeah.
Like, calm down. You know what I mean?
Re-educating people on what is too far for you and what you can handle.
Yeah. I just had to highlight my boundaries and that with them. Saying, yo, like, no, it's cool. You can do this for me or do that for me. Otherwise, I'm all good.
So what were you doing? If you don't mind, like what were you doing career-wise when you found? I mean, you were 23 at the time, so you would have just started the job. Like, did you go uni? I don't know.
Yeah, no. So obviously, imagine, funny you say that. I graduated the other day, but civil engineering.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Oh, well, not snap as in I did the same degree.
Oh, is it?
Congrats, well done.
What did you get?
What did I get?
Yeah.
A 2-1.
That's good.
Man got a first.
What did you get?
Oh
Did
shit.
you get a first?
Wait, because you asked, innit? I thought you were ready to brag. My bad. You passed, so that's what matters.
No, I got a first, innit? But you know,
Hey.
I don't like boasting about it.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
You asked the
It's
question to
really
be asked
good.
back. Don't try it.
Okay.
Brag about it. It's cool.
Don't be humble.
No,
Put
man,
in
you have to
hard
be humble.
work
You have
and
to be
effort.
humble.
No
There
one's
was a lot
gonna.
of sleepless nights, but yeah.
There you go.
Listen,
Exactly.
hard work
A
pays
lot of
off,
maths.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I've done maths.
it's long still.
Yeah, so how did that? So did you have a delay in your course because of your health?
Yeah, no, I had to delay my course, but obviously I had a couple other ventures that were going on at the time that delayed it anyway. So even that, it's like it hindered my progress to an extent, but at the same time, I never really allowed it to stop me from doing things that I wanted to do. You know what I mean?
What was your mental health like at that point in time? Because going through that has to take not only a toll on your mental health, but other people reacting to how you are. and how
I
you're
feel
getting on.
like my mental health, it would always be up and down anyway.
Right.
It's when you find out something life changing, it's gonna you're gonna be unbalanced kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I don't really feel like you're not gonna know where your head is at.
Right.
Yeah, because you need time to process
Yeah.
what you're thinking, what you're feeling when
Literally.
you find out. But on top of that, you're having to bear the brunt of what other people are saying to you as well, and trying to
Exactly.
comfort them and
Mm.
let them know you're
Exactly.
okay.
So it was just like, it's a bit topsy-turvy for me. But boy, even now they will say like, depending on my moods and that,
Yeah.
that could like trigger off my symptoms again.
Really.
So like if I get too hot, if I get frustrated, even if I get excited, like it could all go a bit left.
Yeah, I read something about stress levels as well.
Yeah,
Because
literally.
it's all connected to the brain. Like
Yeah.
I was so ignorant to it. Like I didn't realize it's all connected to the brain. I thought it's like a nerve. I'm ignorant. My sister's gonna be like, if my sister works in medicine area of life, she'll be like, Heather, the brain's connected to the nerves. What's wrong with you?
No, but I know
But
what
do you know what I mean?
mean.
You
Like,
just think it's
you assume that it's just a problem that affects the nervous system, and you don't realize that,
that
everything
everything
is
connected.
linked,
Yeah.
and that actually a lot of chronic illnesses have a lot to do with your
nervous system.
emotions too, and how stress, anxiety, all of those things can trigger physical symptoms, and you'll basically trigger you into a bad episode with illness.
So just a quick one. How many? Wait, let me tell you fact first. In the UK, 1 in 5 people are disabled. That's 14 million people. And guess how many of the percentage have hidden disabilities of those who are disabled?
I looked this up earlier. I already know the answer, so
Don't speak.
I'm not going to say anything.
No pressure in it.
Boy,
How much? What did you reckon the percentage is?
50 to 70%.
What about
yeah, I
yourself?
think it's kind of high.
So yeah, it is 70.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
So 70%
I
of
reckon it's
people
kinda
who are
high.
disabled actually have hidden disabilities. And hidden disabilities, like, people don't understand the levels to it. So I think it's interesting because lockdown would have actually triggered a lot of issues where, like, you can't wear the mask. So some people who are exempt, like, were you exempt from wearing a mask? I don't know.
I don't know.
Did you wear a mask?
Yeah, I have.
It's to say
No,
that.
it is like when I was in Sainsbury's, like, mask. I'm like, all right, calm down.
But you probably were potentially exempt from it because
Yeah,
you
potentially,
might have
yeah.
had a reason, because it depends, like you said, if certain factors
Yeah.
can affect your MS.
The moment I say, oh, listen, it's gonna trigger off my anxiety levels, I'm not wearing a mask. That's it.
Yeah.
Done.
Well, that's it, because I think that's what a lot of people didn't realize. So for
Yeah.
me, like with my anxiety, I never wore a mask. I can't do it. Whereas some people, and people look at me like, "Oh, you wear a mask?" It's just like, for God's sake, I'm not going to do this every time. Like, it's cute that they have the sunflower thing, but would you wear a sunflower?
Oh, the
When am I
sunflower
wearing that?
land-
No, you can get the
okay.
badge though.
Would you wear the badge?
Yeah, why not?
See, I had it on my phone. I'm like, yeah.
So to explain for anyone who doesn't know what the sunflower meaning is, it's
Sunflower.
it's the symbol for hidden disability. So it's so that you can let other people know that you have a hidden disability and that you may need help.
Sunflower.
Have you not seen it? Everyone's wearing
Yeah,
the...
they wear the
No.
lanyards in the
Lanyards.
supermarket.
Sunflower.
Yeah.
Everything is sunflower. Okay. Sunflower.
I mean, you might want to write to the company still, like...
Might
What
bring
would you
out
have
our own one.
instead?
Hmm?
What would you have instead?
I don't know.
I am invisibly. What was it? I am
Invisibly?
disabled.
How did they come up with the sunflower?
I don't know, but I guess
Interesting.
it was so that it was an inconspicuous logo that didn't.
What colour is sunflower? Yellow.
No,
right?
not in the sense of the color. Oh my god!
So
but
you
Could
want
it be any louder?
as in, certain people will know what the
So
sunflower
I
meant.
think before lockdown, no
Yeah.
one knew what it was. If you were to
Yeah.
see someone wearing it, you'd be
just
none the
think it was a
wiser.
nice
Only
badge.
staff members would know about it.
Yeah.
But once lockdown kicked in, everyone had to be educated because there was a lot of issues. Like, a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah.
were being pulled up. Fights were happening because people aren't wearing masks. So
fights?
Have you not
Fights.
seen?
Yeah.
Have you not seen people fighting? Like, oh, you're
Yeah.
endangering me. You can't be
Yeah.
doing this.
Swear on.
I swear to God, you had police pulling people off trains and like on
That's a bit
buses.
stupid though, isn't it?
But
If you're
it
worrying
is-
about being endangered, then why are you gonna
Come,
you know?
Why are you outside?
But then,
Stay
do you know what
inside.
it was? It was during that period where everyone was freaking the
Yeah,
out.
because nobody.
Yeah, yeah.
knew
because they
what
had
to
no
expect.
idea. They were absolutely ignorant to everything. It was brand new information. It's just like, wait, you're breathing my way. Let me fly kick you real quick. So it's just like not realizing, like, dude, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
So things like hidden disabilities are anxiety disorders. I'm gonna name a few. There's a long list.
Anxiety.
Yeah, ADHD, certain allergies,
Basically,
autism,
Yeah, sorry.
bipolar.
I was
go
going
on.
to say, hidden disabilities are also things that are termed chronic long-term illnesses,
Yeah.
such as asthma, diabetes, like you said. Autism is one as well.
But they're on the severe
but
side.
severe allergies is
Yeah.
another one, because it's life-changing, if not life-ending sometimes.
And I think we take it for light. Like, it's like similar to you watching the movie about MS, but not really paying too much attention to the depth of it.
Yeah.
When it hits home, then you deep, oh shoot, like an
Mm.
allergy is that bad, or anxiety is that bad to the point where if you know,
yeah, someone...
so certain people. So okay, I'm not gonna go through the list quickly. Lupus, major depression, metabolism issues, migraines, MS, personality disorders, schizophrenia, joint disorders. There's so many different things that we're unaware
Hey,
of.
stop that, man. I see
Who's
just what
laughing?
you did. Every time I have a
Zooming in.
reaction, it's a zoom in. Stop
Yeah,
that,
zoom in,
man.
zoom in.
Stop that.
Good.
Because I'm surprised.
Shocked.
Yeah, that I think I'm surprised that there are a an extensive list of these
There's a
disabilities
massive
that
list.
I wasn't aware of. Like, to say asthma is a disability, I've never thought of my condition as being as a
something
disability.
that because we only think about disabilities as the visible disabilities
Yeah.
when someone has lost a limb
Yeah.
or their vision or one of their senses, but there's so many, like IBS, Crohn's disease, loads of gastrointestinal,
And a lot of related to your lungs. So
a lot relating to your lungs.
I think there's also a case of, and I don't know if you can say that you don't want to be seen as being disabled. Like,
So I was gonna say, is there a
there's
stigma to it?
around that?
I don't know, like, to be honest with you, it is what it is, isn't it? But
Did you feel something like I'm
one
in a
time
wheelchair?
my friend was like two of my friends were arguing. He was like, he's classed as disabled.
Mm.
He was like, don't say that. Don't say that.
He was that friend.
He was like, bro's not disabled. Are you mad? Don't say that.
Yeah.
It just showed you how one person put it up here and the other person was like, no, you mad. It's like two different point of views.
And
Even
it's
still,
the way that people view it as well.
But he didn't really, like, the guy that put me up there, he was just like he's
It is
still
what it
bro,
is.
but you know, that's reality of the situation.
Yeah.
Like, let's not.
And the one who was in denial was like, "You're like."
But do you know what?
cannot
That's also linked to culture, which we're going to touch on, because I think, like, for example, with me, I remember my son was born prematurely. He was born 3 months early. He had chronic lung disease, and they said to me, "Oh, you're going to be his carer for the rest of his life potentially because his lungs aren't going to improve." I'm like, "Nah, he's going to be fine." And they're like, "Oh yeah, do you know you're entitled for like disability like badges and because we used to wear an oxygen tank on my back, like Ghostbusters vibes, and go out everywhere with him." And they're like, "You know, you're entitled to this, and as a carer, you deserve this money. You're entitled to this money." I'm like, "Nah, my son's not disabled. What are you talking about?" But it's because I've had like disability in my head was only one way that I know and nothing else. Like, it never had a wider spectrum. So for me to say I'm going to be his carer, I'm like, no, I'm his mum. I'm not his carer. That's just default responsibility. They're like, no, but the level of care you're going to give him is different than an average child. And I'm just like, it took a very long time for me to go, do you know what? Cool, it is what it is. And for me to not shy away from applying for certain things and going, all right, because I've only ever worked. I've never claimed benefits, never claimed anything. So for me, someone to tell me, yes, for the next 11 years, you might just be a carer. I'm just like, swear down. But the disabled thing made me feel so uncomfortable because I just associated with like.
You always associate it with the extreme.
Yeah.
But also when you claim like disability stuff, you think, right, am I a fraudster for doing that? Like you start thinking like, am I allowed to? Because I'm not physically there's no physical obviousness to my son. Like it's just his breathing, but he's walking okay. And he's like developing and doing everything okay. Surely he doesn't need it. Do you know what I mean? So I carry the level of guilt to even applying the like, Hebs, you've been working all your life, chill. And I'm just like, all right, cool. But I had a negative stigma attached to it. And I think it is linked to culture because when I used to see, like, do you know, like, you have all the uncles that are disabled?
With their blue badge.
With the blue badges. That's not me, man. That's not me. So obviously you reached out to me to talk about hidden disabilities. What made you want to come on and talk about it? Like, what triggered the conversation?
For me, it's just like for people having like the sufficient amount of awareness, really, like understanding. Obviously, it's hidden, it's invisible. A lot of people take it for granted. So a lot of people are like, he's fine. What are you talking about? He's fine. But in actual fact, that person might be struggling and like you won't realize it in any shape or form, or they're doing something to accommodate for what they're lacking in. And it's literally just to spread the awareness, really, so people understand what's going on and what's out there. Like, as you said, that certain things I was saying were resonating with you.
Yeah, 100%.
But if anyone was to look at your son, they would never believe it.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Literally, that's what it is for me. Like,
so what would you say for someone who's potentially recently been diagnosed with MS? What would you kind of advise them as far as like adjustments? Because obviously it can affect your lifestyle, it can affect your social life, your career, whatever. Like, what is it like? What bits of advice would you give like that you wish you were given potentially?
But the advice I would give to people is whatever your weaknesses is, don't be scared to like work on your weaknesses. Even if you don't have a disability, work on your weaknesses. Like a lot of people go to the gym and they just want to do arms and chest
because they're used to that.
They're
That's
used to
their
that.
comfort.
But at the same time, people say, "Oh, I want to like a beach body," but there's no point in doing that because you're causing yourself harm. Like, I used to play American football, and because I used to do so much chest, my shoulders started to arch forward.
Yeah.
So the strength in like my traps, in my back, my rear delts and everything, they were lacking. So I had to do more chest, more back, more shoulders to try and bring my chest back.
And a lot of men need to do legs still.
And
Yes,
legs.
please do
Everyday
leg day,
arm,
men.
everyday
I can't-
chest.
That toothpick look is not nice.
Yeah, it's not, but
That Mr. Triangle from Mr. Men
Johnny
situation.
Bravo.
Johnny
Yeah,
Bravo.
Johnny
Perfect
Bravo.
example. I'm so
Yes,
glad
please
you said
do
that.
leg day. Girls appreciate a nice butt too.
Yeah.
God
Oh.
damn,
I'm
girl.
just saying.
If you feel uncomfortable, we can get her to leave.
I'm uncomfortable.
First, you might have to leave still, you know, like a public apology.
I was talking
No.
about your bum, Ben. I wouldn't
Oh.
ever. I wouldn't dare.
She loves Joe. So what's your current health as it stands at the moment? Like, how much have you progressed?
Yeah, it's manageable. Like obviously we're progressing and like we're moving forward. I don't know. Every Wednesday, what I like to do is like a hit session, where I'll put together like a circuit of exercises. From there now, we're just battling for time really. So today it was deadlift and burpees,
Oh.
3 sets, back to back. So 21 burpees, 21 deadlift. 15
21
Yeah.
reps.
You ain't
Yeah.
ready.
15.
Well, you were
And
there.
when you say
No.
burpees, do you mean the whole like
I've seen him
jump
in the gym,
up,
Yeah, I want your chest on the
jump down.
ground. I want your chest on the ground.
full
get
push
up,
up? Oh,
jump up.
no.
Like
I'll be there to support you. Like, yo,
Yeah.
keep going, keep going, keep
yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah.
Be a cheerleader clapping.
Hold on, wait. Are these when you're doing deadlifts?
I'm on a stairmaster.
Are you on a
watching.
proper big weights?
I built in it.
A what?
Big man. I'm okay.
100.
I'm okay.
Man,
And
bro.
21 of them.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm alright. You lift in houses for free, yeah? Alright, I'm good.
Yeah, but literally, so like 21, 15, 9, back to back. It's like I stole it from like a CrossFit workout in it. But basically, you have to just do all 3 of them back to back, and then I just compete for time. So this week was the 3rd time I did it, but I beat my time again. So
Well done.
we're good to go.
So do you still have, obviously, like, educate me a little bit, but do you still have bad days where,
Yeah.
does it get to a point where you're unable to move, like mobilities?
Nah, you know what? I always lock off before then. Anytime like I might feel a bit mad, like my day's coming to an end, and I'm like, yeah, see you lot later. Yeah, cool. No, but other than that, I would say if I overexert myself in that, if like my fatigue gets too high, like things just start going left, and I'm just like, oh,
So
okay.
it's basically you've learnt your limits now.
Yeah. I learned my limits, but
So does that mean MS can be controlled?
Managed.
manage.
Yeah, as in like,
that's a better way
sorry,
to
yeah.
manage,
So basically,
manage.
where you kind of, like you said, you know your limit. So it's not a case where, God, I guess everyone varies from case to case, but I guess you won't experience, like, so when you look back to the time when you were bedridden and you weren't able to move that day and your body didn't relieve you, had you done a lot the night before?
No,
that
it was just a
potentially
normal day.
exhausted you.
It was just literally a normal day.
Lifting
But tell a
houses,
lie.
yeah. Normal day lifting houses.
For free.
Nah, it was a normal day, but tell a lie. What happened was, I think I was ill, or I was getting ill, or I felt a bit funny. So I was just like, oh, what's going on? And I felt my legs felt a bit weird, but I was just like, ah, it's all right. A few days went past and everything was fine. And then like that night, I woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, what's going on here? And I was just out of the game. I was just like, oh my God.
I'm not gonna lie, that's probably quite. I remember the first time I had, I get auras of my migraines. So before I get migraine, I stop seeing for a little bit, and my peripheral starts spinning. The first time it happened to me, I was working in the bank. I was like, guys, I'm going blind. Guys, I'm going blind. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, I can't see anything. And I freaked out. And I called my sister. She went, I googled it. You're getting an aura. You're getting a migraine. And I'm like, okay. And she suffered with chronic migraines.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. Maybe this is it. But I get mine like once a year. She used to get it all the time. And I was just like, the first time it happens, when something surreal happens to your body, you're just like, what the actual fuck is happening?
Yeah, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And it's scarier the first few times because you just don't know. But when you become familiar with how your body feels just before something like that happens, you can account
You start
for it.
understanding yourself on levels.
So
Yeah.
one of the, sorry to go TMI guys, but one of the problems that I have is severe period pains. There is a name for it. I can't remember the name. But when I'm in significant pain, I pass out. But I can tell when it's going to happen.
So you know how to anticipate
Because there's certain feelings in my body that happens, like my legs start to lose sensation, my vision blacks out. I can tell that I'm gonna pass out, so I can make provisions for safely passing out without injuring myself.
with several cushions.
No, just moving away from any, like I pass out on the tube, so it would be like
Oi,
yes, but some do, like bless her, she tried to do the right thing, I guess. She tried to help me off the train, but in doing that I think that was actually more dangerous because we both fell off the train onto the platform tangled up, and that is a very,
Because your body became like dead weight.
I was knocked out cold, but that's where it's really dangerous. That if I'm traveling and I know I'm feeling that way, I will not get on the train. I will not move. I will literally just sit on the platform.
Yeah, that's
waiting
one of
for
the
it to
things
pass.
I read about. Where basically, if you have certain physical conditions that aren't obviously visible, so people can't be mindful of it,
Yeah.
is to make time for everything. So if you know you're tired that day, or your bones, that everything's moving a bit slow, or you're exhausted, to give yourself more time in your journey, to make more time with your duties, so you're not pressing on yourself. Because the more you press on yourself, the more you, again, it's back to exhausting your body.
Yeah.
That's it. What frustrates you the most about your situation?
Not being able to do the thing that I used to be able to do in it. Like, obviously, I can still play American football, I can still play football, but it's just like the ability and the level that I will be playing on wouldn't be anything close to what I used to be able to do.
Yeah.
Have you made peace with that?
I'll never accept it.
Okay.
But it's just one of those things that you're going to accept it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that requires growth and like just
Yeah.
like understanding yourself more and more. You'll kind of gain that. I think where your weakness becomes your strength, and that strength empowers you to the point where you're like, cool, and you count your blessings, I guess. But it's easier said than done, because sometimes we look back on our lives and be like, okay, snap. For those who don't know, we both coughed at the same time. A thick one too. Sometimes I look back at certain elements of my life and I'll get frustrated. I'm just like, I could have achieved this more. I could have done this more. And it's just like, we need to just accept that's all part of your journey, and it's part of building your character.
Yeah, and not to get hung up on the what ifs.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
when we start, regardless of what it is that we're thinking what if about, when we start that journey of thinking, what if I'd done this? What if I'd done
Shoulda,
this
woulda,
differently?
coulda.
Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You're just torturing yourself, really, because you're measuring yourself up to something that doesn't exist.
Yeah. I think everyone can look back on their life and be like, I could have done so much more.
Yeah, I
could have done this degree instead of this degree. I could have not had a child later in life. There's so many, but people don't understand the blessing, because you are who you are based on your experiences. And had you not gone through what you've gone through, you might have not challenged yourself in different ways. So I guess in that sense, there's a blessing in everything.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Hopefully.
I mean,
You've
you're
been able
here.
to
You're
got-
telling
Yeah,
us
you've
but
been
you
able to
wouldn't
got
have done.
what works now.
Yeah.
That's something that's come through.
Yeah.
That's a
It's
good
a true
proof for
story. Because before I was just locked into doing civil engineering, innit? Now my path is kind of like be physical, help yourself, like mentally, physically.
So your mindset's changing.
Yeah.
Like your
Yeah,
angle's
yeah,
changing.
yeah.
a
This
little
is your
bit.
journey that you're on.
And so many people will be able to relate to your story, whether it's MS or not that they're dealing with. They'll be able to relate to your story and approach you. Like he said, the guy who approached you, there'll be others who will approach you and be like, I'm glad you spoke up about this, because I didn't know there was someone else like me experiencing
doing
this.
that,
And now I can see how much you've progressed, so I need to push myself. So it's a circle.
Yep.
It continues, and it's just gonna keep spreading.
Yeah, no, I like to give back, and obviously where I can help, I will help. So it's just like literally what you're saying of, do you have any advice that you could give to other people? It's just like, a lot of the time people don't like to be told what to do, innit?
What I will say is, again, like I'm going to somewhat relate a little bit back to my son being born premature. I didn't know anything about prematurity prior to my son being born premature. Didn't know it even existed. Didn't realise there's a whole community out there. Didn't realise how many people are being born premature every single day and the complications that come with it. And the minute I started sharing my journey on Instagram, more and more people would reach out to me and they'd be like, oh my God, my water's just broke now. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? Like, or like my son's now in intensive care. How did the journey go for you? Like, and I remember when my son was born, I started searching hashtags. Like, it sounds wild, but I started searching premature 26 weeks, 25 weeks, 27 weeks. I didn't know when he was going to be born, like when my waters first broke. And I started seeing photos of people of like this age and then that age. So it's nice to see the journey, and it's nice to see like there are people out there. So I think with you, just keep doing what you're doing and share as much of your story as you can on Instagram, because there are a lot of people who will actively search certain things because they want to relate to you, because they either feel alone, they don't have the right support, or they're too stubborn to reach out for help. A lot of, especially men, are very prideful, like I said.
Yeah.
So you're strong-minded, you got a good community around you, but not everyone's got that. So some people, you might be the only bit of support. Again, no pressure in it, but like trainer, mentor, just very quickly, separate to MS, just in regards to hidden disabilities. Something I came across which is quite interesting. So autism is quite a big one when it comes to hidden disabilities. And there's different extremes. Obviously, there's different spectrums from mild to unpredictable. So I don't know if you guys know Christine McGuinness.
Who's that?
McGuinness, yeah. She's the one that's married to
Paddy
Paddy. Yeah.
But what does she do?
So she's just a mother. She's got 3 children that all have autism, and her son has an extreme level. So she's applied for a blue badge for her son, and she's having to explain herself every single day to people. Some of them who've confronted her like quite aggressively. Why are you parking in the table, babe? Your kids are all fine, you're fine. And it's just like she's having to explain why. And it's actually, I can imagine it being quite frustrating, because we make an assumption, again, it's the whole visibly thing.
You see those situations, I'm not explaining myself to no one. I'm just dashing the badge down later. Okay,
But in her situation, she's there with 3 young children and someone is being intimidating.
Can you imagine?
You feel like, I know, that's horrible.
Disgusting though, man.
It's really horrible that you're doing that to a mother with her 3 young children in front of her children as well.
So she's explained how like sometimes she'll spend time to educate certain people, because there are people who are curious, there are people who will kind of listen on the sly while she's explaining, that you can see people are trying to seek knowledge and understanding, but they don't want to ask directly to what's going on. And in that case, there's one time she said she was in a car park, and she wanted to school someone. She went, but it's not safe, because she has to think about her son has no idea of safety. They have no idea of like if their sensories are like extra. I don't know what the technical word is, but their sensories are extreme to the point where everything's overwhelming. Their reaction based on the cars moving, people moving, can cause them to be in danger. So she's having to explain this, but at the same time she can't explain it because she's putting them in danger, because if they're out already with her, she can't afford to do that. And it's just like, she's like, obviously she won't use the badge if she doesn't have to, but it's just, I've seen it before. People have looked at other people and be like, they're not really disabled. It's like, what, do you have to roll out onto the floor?
No, but that's what it is. People have this image in their head that, I don't think it helps that the blue badge is actually the sign of a wheelchair. And I think this is where maybe it needs updating.
That's
because
a good point,
because a lot of people will assume for you to use that space, you can't have legs. Literally, like your legs should not be functional for you to be able to use that space. Also, just generally, there aren't enough of those spaces. Considering it's 1 in 5 people, really it should be 1 in 5 parking spaces then. And that's the availability of those parking spaces needs to be a lot more. There needs to be a lot more there, basically. But the sign itself, obviously, when you're looking at that and you're looking at the person coming out of the car going, they don't look like that sign.
I don't see a wheelchair coming
out. I don't see
wheels.
That is a very,
And
very good
you know,
point.
it's the immediate misconception people have, but it's because hidden disabilities. Like, I think a lot of people feel shame. A lot of people feel
they'll be reluctant.
They're reluctant to explain that their chronic illness, because that is what it is. Their condition is classed as a disability, and it has an impact on their life in a way where they need additional support.
Very true. Yeah.
And it's sad that it's like that. I'm actually embarrassed that it's
happens
like that for
but
people.
you know, there's a lot of ignorance out there anyway. There's a lot of ignorant people. But I think what's also bad is that when someone who doesn't have a visible disability, just to apply for benefits or to apply for assistance or a badge, you have to overly explain I am unwell and this is how bad it is, rather than someone who's clearly physically disabled. They can be like, ta-da.
Or if you're the carer of a disabled person, because sometimes some people are young or vulnerable and can't, mentally be able to be there for themselves, so they need a carer. But then the extent that carer has to go through just to explain and go, I care for someone who needs additional support, and therefore this is why I've got a blue badge. It's out of order.
But that being said, for you to have to go to that extent of like several assessments, several applications,
It's very condescending.
that already is very condescending. Then on top of that, you've been now given a badge, being told, okay, cool, this makes sense. You can't walk long distances for several reasons. You can have certain disorders where it's like you said, like it could be a mental thing, could be a physical thing.
Yeah.
But you now have to explain to other people or watch people watch you, like, I don't see no
you.
stick, I don't see no limp, I don't
it's
see
all over
nothing.
the place. We're not very accepting as a culture to people that might have something that we just can't physically see.
I just think, considering how aware and how woke this generation is,
We're getting there.
but I still feel there's maybe it's the older generation that are just purely ignorant.
Because there's too many of them still alive.
What is wrong with you, woman? Wow.
The thoughts are not endorsed by me. That's all
just
fizz,
us.
boy. That's all fizz. Nothing to do with me.
I'm
boy.
joking. Don't die, please.
In that instant,
Yeah.
in that instant, would you like explain yourself if you were using a blue badge?
I don't think I have to, but if I'm raising awareness, if I feel like someone's genuinely interested to know, like why you parking here, they might have said it with a bit of defense. There's a difference between like
You
someone,
shouldn't park there.
Yeah, someone coming at me. If you're coming at me,
Yeah.
then obviously bun you. Like I'll leave it. I'll ignore you, and I'll just keep. As a hair in my face, it's so annoying. But anyway, but if it's a case where I can see someone somewhat curious or someone's watching, or this is my opportunity to school, like the same way, like when you're a Muslim person at work and you're like, alright, cool, it's my time to educate people real quick.
Yeah, when you get asked
It's long,
to do the
innit?
Ramadan post.
Yeah. Or if you're a token black person,
my-
I get asked every single year.
Yeah, I
so
was that
it's
person
approaching
too.
Ramadan.
It's
It's
like, yeah, can you
Islamophobia
write-
month. So
Yeah.
do you want to tell us an article?
What is Eid? Oh my god! And then you have to dumb it down so much and be like, it's the.
Don't worry, you
Muslim
guys get it too.
Christmas.
Black History Month. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes you got to choose your battles.
Yeah, no,
Like,
100%.
are you going to school someone? Is it actually going to land and resonate?
Stop that. No, you gotta stop that. Stop.
Ignore him. He just
I
makes
told you,
noise.
Ben, you've got a very memeable expression.
Let's go.
I thought I was very expressive, but he's on levels.
He's on levels.
But yeah, no, I think we have to, in order to change a narrative, we have to spend time to educate people. And sometimes when you educate someone correctly, they then pass it on. If you react with a reaction to their reaction, then we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, 100%.
Besides their own assumptions, and they'll come and share a story. Go, see that woman? She thinks she's entitled. It's just like, okay, cool. You have no idea what I'm going through right now. I could be going physical pain. I could have like a nerve issue, whatever, and you're completely unaware of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give you that satisfaction information because you're not giving me the decency and respect to even approach me with it. So I think it's sometimes you just got to choose your battles.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends. Like you said, it depends on the approach. If someone's coming at you aggy to begin with, it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
Do you feel like once you disclose that you have MS, people treat you different? Like, or they start talking to you differently, like you're deaf or something?
Sometimes, like.
But do you know what I mean? It's just like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, to be honest with you, a lot of my people I'm around, they're just aware of it, but they just don't move funny or anything. You know what I mean?
They move the same.
They just move the same. Like, they know that.
But do you think that that's taken them time, or do you think from the get go they've always just
how
been?
was it?
Now, you know what? Tell her, like, you know what? My good friend from Nihai, yeah? So basically, he was like, oh, bro, come football. I'm like, oh, no. Okay, fine. Let's be the comedian at football.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just doing stupidness. I kick the ball, and like, I know that I'm not going to be able to produce anything fantastic that session, but I'll just go, just pay subs, whatever I have to do. I'm like, yeah, okay, just another body. I'm fine, whatever. But realistically, he was like, oh, you sure you're all right? I look at him and just like, yeah, I'm fine. I wasn't in a wheelchair like 2 years ago. It's fine. You know what I mean? But
So he doesn't know how to act, or he's
you know what?
dismissive of it.
Somewhat submissive, but he's like very empathetic towards this whole situation, isn't it? But at the same time, it's like he just doesn't want to accept it. So
You
he'll
sound
be
like a parent.
yeah. He'll
It's
be
just like, oh, my son's ill. No, but he's perfectly fine.
yeah. He was like, oh, you know what? We can train, we can train and get you back. I said, it ain't coming back, bro.
Don't worry, because the doctor's got it wrong, but you'll fix it with
yeah.
1-2 trainings,
I
innit?
was like, bro,
They're going to will it to
ain't
happen.
coming back.
20 burpees and you're good.
Yeah, I was like, it's not coming back.
What about new people that you meet? So when you first meet someone and say it comes up in conversation and you tell them your diagnosis, do you feel like their interaction with you changes after you tell them about being
Nah,
having them?
more time they're just more in awe. So they'll be like, "What? Really?
Mm.
You?
Yeah, no idea. You're walking around
They're
normal,
like,
everything.
You?
Yeah.
You were just a
No.
gym guy I just saw in the gym every day.
Yeah, it's just
Literally,
like,
yeah.
No, don't be silly.
Yeah,
You're
never
lying.
would've
You're
guessed.
lying. You're
Yeah,
lying.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Some disbelief.
even when I did my personal training course, and they was like, write down 3 things about yourself and then write down 1 lie. So I put that down, and then everyone's swayed away from those. Like, there's no way you could be lying about that. Like, I could see them like whispering and that. I was just like,
Like, he's just evil, man. He's this MS's life.
yeah. And then like I was just like, yeah, it's what it is, kind of thing. Yes, just get on with it.
It's a humbling moment. Definitely a humbling moment.
Then you start looking at yourself and be like, well, he's gotten through this or she's gotten through this. What's my excuse?
Exactly.
It is a reflective moment if you
Yeah.
really deep it.
Exactly.
Finally, I'm just going to ask a question in regards to like people obviously accommodating to disabilities. Do you feel like gyms and workplaces are quite accommodating to different conditions, specifically yours, I'd say?
Workplaces, I would say, generally, yeah, innit? They will just have to make the appropriate adjustments and that, like the necessary adjustment to make sure that you can complete your job. So they will literally, it all depends. Like, I feel like a lot of workplaces and gyms and stuff, they can't really accommodate for everyone.
That's the
So,
truth. That's the
like,
truth.
for example, when I came to the gym, what they did was like, oh, have you got anything wrong with you? So then the manager spoke to me personally and she was like, all right, what's wrong with you? How can I help you? Or anything
good.
that I can put into place. So I feel like that was helpful because then they were able to reach out to me personally
Yeah.
and then find out what to do for me personally.
Yeah.
That's
Where
it.
I trying to worry about the whole population that come to the gym.
Yeah, because then you really have to disclose it yourself. Anyway, for
Yeah,
medical
yeah,
reasons,
yeah.
you should disclose it if you are going to the gym.
Exactly.
No matter how prideful you are, because you don't know how that's going to hinder your performance. And,
Yeah.
you know, also when you go to the gym, you're not necessarily a PT. So if you have certain issues, like any disabilities, whether it's non-visible or visible, certain workouts aren't for you. So you do need someone can like that for example, that manager could have sat with you and gone, actually try and avoid doing this, because they might have done certain training where they've said people with certain conditions shouldn't carry an X amount of weight, or do you know what I mean? So we can move like experts because we've been alive doing it. But sometimes it's really important to disclose that because you are potentially putting yourself in a very compromised situation.
Yeah, it's a difficult one though, because there's a question that we're often asked when we do application forms, which is, do you consider yourself to be disabled?
Yeah.
But then if you don't consider yourself,
But then this is where
Yeah.
it becomes an issue, because a lot of people
Subjective.
will have an invisible
Disability.
disability, but choose not to declare themselves as being disabled, and not take advantage of any adjustments and stuff. But then this puts them at risk. It puts others at risk as well. So it's kind of like, try to be honest about it. You know, some of these adaptations don't have to be obvious.
Yeah. Don't be too prideful.
Yeah.
Everyone needs help at some point in time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
well, I feel like you've just segued to the final part.
Huh? What?
Hey,
Yeah.
it's like Ben read your laptop.
Firstly, thank you so much for coming. I
Yeah,
appreciate
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you for sharing the stories.
And reaching out, yo. Like I was like, what's this guy? Because everyone's like, can I come on your podcast? I'm like, all right, here we
What
go.
you get that a lot?
Do you not get those messages?
Never.
And when you
He's
when you ask,
fanboying on other people.
Yeah.
He's like, please come on my podcast, please.
but when
please.
people say that, when they're like, "Oh, let me come on your podcast, I want to speak," I'm like, "What do you want to speak about?"
Yeah,
What's your
because I'm
topic?"
happy, but give
Yeah.
me something to talk about.
And they're stumped.
They're like,
actually
anything,
stumped.
anything. I'm like,
no.
no.
What's your specialism?
It's
What's
just like, you can't just jump on something because you want to. Like, give me a reason, like serve a purpose so that you're going to enlighten people, share something that you're passionate about.
yeah.
Like, don't just be here for the sake of being here.
Yeah. So what we're
Um,
trying to say, people, is
Well,
if
here
you
we
want to
go.
come join us on our podcast, you're
You're
welcome,
welcome
to,
to.
but come with a topic that
Yeah.
you are gonna be chatting about.
Because it's
Hence
important.
the reason why Alex is here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. And Alex actually just reached out straight. He was just like, yo. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Well
And when
done.
Hebs told us, I was genuinely so excited.
I told someone else today, and they're
Yeah.
like, this is a topic that needs to be had, like a
Yeah,
conversation.
because it's
So
not something
yeah.
I don't think the three of us would have ever come out with.
sadly,
So,
we wouldn't have.
Yeah, so we're really, really grateful for you for
We appreciate it.
getting
Thank
in
you.
touch.
Thank
Yeah.
you
Thank
for
you for
opening
having
our eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right. Alex, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank
Alex.
you.
Where can I
Thanks
find
for
you on
having
Instagram?
Walk.works
Just over here.
is here.
And you're happy for people to reach out to you, slide in your
it's
DMs.
cool, man. Like, obviously, if you need any question, ask. If you need training sessions, if you need mentoring, whatever you need. Like,
Yeah, that's
just
it.
come through.
That's cool. I think there's a lot of people who are learning new things. So, or they might be experiencing things in their private life that they can resonate with you, even if it's fresh. And this is
100%.
timing's everything. So hopefully you benefited a lot of people today.
Yeah, I don't want people to go through it alone,
100%. I think the minute we understand we have other people we can relate to, there's a little bit of weight lifted, because we don't feel the pressure of like, this is just me. Oh my God, I can't have to internalize this. You can actually begin to communicate and offload and see the light at the end of the tunnel as well. And a support system. You can catch me on I Am Hebs with a Z. Please subscribe to our channel, which is Mama Hebs on YouTube. Over to Uncle's favorite uncle, apparently. Uncle Ben the Rice.
No, it's not the rice. Nothing to do with the rice.
Shout out to Ola for that one.
It's Ben of LDN. You can catch me on Ben of LDN everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, all the good stuff.
I'm seriously going to set up a petition to get that
Stop
changed.
it, man.
Yeah.
Stop,
So basically, he's moved to Reading.
stop,
He's not really from
stop.
London anymore, so
Stop.
he's
He's
get
not
rid
a
of the title.
London
So.
no more.
Oh dear.
Alex is like, I'm going to stay quiet. Man's from Croydon, so, you know. All right, Fizz, where can they find you?
You can find me on Keep It Fizz. That's it, really. Oh, I've been out of the game for 2 weeks. It feels like it's been such a long
I mean, depending on
time.
how this is going to be released, you could have been out of the game
no
for
one
20
knows.
weeks.
Yeah, no one knows. But yeah.
But guys, thank you so much for listening, watching. Please subscribe, like, and all that jazz, and tell your aunts, tell an auntie, and auntie tell the bin man and their friends, and that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.